handling. Addressing them during the passing out ceremony, the Assistant Commandant Zone H harped on total commitment in dealing with security challenges. Joseph Woodson reports.
Given the increase of high-profile crimes such as insurgency, vandalism and kidnapping, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps and other security formations have been upgrading security strategies towards combating the challenges. Regular training of officers and men of the NSCDC in arms handling is one of the routine exercises of the Corps. The Panorama State Command recently passed out 53 of its personnel trained in handling sophisticated weapons. Assistant Commandant General Zone H, Lugard Osaro Osiwingi, charged the armed squad in the state to be ready to confront security challenges with all sense of professionalism to safeguard lives and property.
You defend the defenseless. And to do this job properly, you must dedicate yourself to the job.
The State Commandant, Kamilu Ado Issa, said the 53 personnel will be immediately drafted into the armed squad of the State Command, making up a total of 263 members. After the ceremony, the Assistant Commandant Zone H, Lugard Osaro Osiwigi, paid a courtesy visit to the Taraba State Deputy Governor Haruna Manu, who received him on behalf of the State Governor. The Governor called for the maintenance of synergy between security agencies in the state and the state government for the maintenance of law and order. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound Oten, NTA News.
Away from security matters now, the 12-man committee set up by the northern governors in their last meeting with traditional rulers have met in Kaduna under the chairmanship of Sokoto State Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. Correspondent Muhammad Umar Ajenge reports that the meeting was convened to find a common front by the region on the current issues of restructuring and resource control, among others.
Members of the committee, comprising some emirs and some governors, arrived at the meeting with an agenda on their mind to do with the region's position on the current agitation for restructuring, resource control through federalism, and several burning issues affecting the nation. The committee, chaired by Sokoto State Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, was discussing on how best to sample opinions, views and comments of people from the region on the issues at hand. The chairman, alongside the Emir of Kano Muhammad Sanusi II, reaffirmed their commitment on the oneness of Nigeria.
And we believe that the more united we are, the better for this country, for the black race, for Africa. And we are appealing to everyone to please exercise some caution and restraint and embrace peace.
We affirmed our commitment to the unity of this country and to issues of constitutional reform that will benefit the whole of Nigeria.
The committee appealed on fellow Nigerians to put the country at heart while channeling their complaints on how they feel affairs of the country should be conducted. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
In another development, the All Progressives Congress APC Committee on True Federalism is to hold public hearings in all the geopolitical zones of the country, subjecting these recommendations to Nigerians with a view to arriving at a popular demand of the public on true federalism. The committee's secretary, Senator Olubunmi Adetumbi, announced the itinerary at the media briefing in Abuja. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Bunumfudu was there.
Working on a mandate of the APC to articulate and align the public position with the party's manifesto and campaign promises, the committee identified 12 areas for discourse. They include desirability or otherwise of states creation or merger of states, derivation principle, devolution of powers, issues on the nation's federating units, fiscal federalism, and revenue allocation. Others include type of government, presidential or parliamentary, independent candidacy, Latino system, local government autonomy, among other issues. To fill the faults of Nigerians, the committee has formed teams of eminent party members to hold public hearings September 18th to October 9th in the 6 geopolitical zones.
We're interested in harvesting opinion in order to inform the party on what the public is saying concerning these issues, such that the party can do its own work effectively in such a manner that it responds to the popular opinion of people.
The important thing in terms of the public hearing, there is nothing that has been foreclosed. And we are therefore inviting everybody who believes his or her opinion will help shape the future of Nigeria with respect to the different issues in the debate.
The final report is expected to guide the party and its members in government in the actualization of the needed true federalism. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
NTA News Panorama, this is to remind that you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Non-registration of births and deaths in Nigeria is detrimental to even distribution of resources. We'll bring you details shortly. Stay with us.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Welcome back. A target has been set for the mining and solid mineral sector in Nigeria to contribute more than 3% to the gross domestic products, GDP, through renewed collaboration between the federal and state governments. These and other issues played out at the 3-day Maiden National Council meeting on mining and minerals. Mayor Gidi was there.
It was 3 days of setting up an idea bank for the solid mineral sector, prominently on the governance challenges, illegal mining, export, securing mining fields and revenue generation. Pleased with the consensus reached on the issues, the Minister of Mines and Solid Mineral, Kayode Fayemi, was emphatic on the need for collaboration between the states and the federal government, as the solid mineral sector is a major money spinner, bearing in mind that it is found only in the exclusive list of the Constitution.
Agriculture and mining were the drivers of our progress out of recession. And as of July of this year, the sector had already surpassed the entire revenue of 3 billion generated for the whole of 2016.
Members of the council were, however, not carried away by these successes, as issues on health and environment were also deliberated on.
No matter what we do, no matter what revenue we generate from the mining industry, if we do not handle environmental degradation very well and the health of the people, it amounts to nothing.
Plugging loopholes for data and revenue, whistleblowing for illegal mining and export, modalities to enhance environmental impact assessment, more geological information, and internationally certified Center for Mineral Resources Development were also deliberated on. The three-day meeting ended on a very cheering note as the Minister of Solid Mineral informed the Council that all the legal challenges hampering the Ajaokuta Steel Company from taking off has been finally settled. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
A new Secretary General to steer the affairs of the United Nations World Tourism Organization, UNWTO, has emerged. He is Zureib Pololish-Kavili from Georgia. He emerged after a consensus which saw Africa's War Tanzania stepping down. Anthony Forsen from Chengdu, China, reports.
With the leadership of the General Assembly lined up for their first duty, the Secretary General, Taleb Rufai, read the proceedings, which had contributions from the delegates, who are all keen to know who succeeds Taleb Rufai, a man whom they say has brought the organization this far in his 8 years as Secretary General. Although Africa had indicated its interest, but the candidate stepped down for his counterpart from Georgia. This brought to the fore unity, brotherhood, and oneness that the membership share.
I'd like to commit my support to my good friend Zura for his tenure starting 2017 to 2021. You can count on my support.
Calculations were right before we went in for the session this morning as to whether we were going to end up voting or going by acclamation. Yes, issues were raised, but at the end of the day, clearly reason prevailed, and the UNTW once again put to the whole world that it's one united family.
This organization is not for Europe, this organization is not for Africa. This is World Tourism Organization, and I'm African as well, not European today, because I saw many very intelligent and very prepared people and ministers with whom I see a lot of things to do. Especially Nigeria, your minister is has very interesting ideas. We talked yesterday with him, and I'm sure that we will collaborate.
The World Tourism Organization is the UN agency responsible for the promotion of responsible, sustainable, and universally acceptable tourism that will be a catalyst for economic growth. In Chengdu, China, Anthony Forsen, NTA News.
Now we're back home, where a project that has been in the making for over 40 years, having passed through successive administrations without realization. Now, the Mambila Hydroelectricity Dam project has been given a stamp of approval by President Muhammadu Buhari. To this end, appreciation has been extended to the President by the Senator representing Taraba Central Senatorial District, Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf. Dennis Adegunloye reports.
On the 30th of August 2017, the Federal Executive Council approved the construction, engineering and transfer of the $5.792 billion or 2 trillion naira 3,050 megawatt Mambila hydroelectric dam project, and President Muhammadu Buhari bestowed on Taraba State the hosting of what is described as the single largest hydroelectric dam project. Senator Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf lauded the President on this initiative.
The success story of the Mambila hydroelectricity dam project spells out a clear horizon of a President Muhammadu Buhari-led APC government's dream, vision, and aspiration about the 21st century Nigeria.
The Exim Bank of China will finance 85% of the project, with the remaining 15% provided by Nigeria as counterpart funding. The completion time for the project is 6 years. In Abuja, Dennis Adegloye, NTA News.
Wife of the Senate President, Mrs. Toyi Bukola Saraki, has called for a law that will compel the recording of all births and deaths in Nigeria. She says this will help in national planning and proper monitoring of the implementation of the nation's laws. She was speaking at the public presentation of her book on the challenges of criminal justice administration in Nigeria. Femi Okewo was there.
Everyone who spoke at the public presentation of the book, The Challenges of Criminal Justice Administration in Nigeria, had their areas of interest, but with the intent to boost the workings of the administration of criminal justice in Nigeria. Sokoto Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal is concerned about the proliferation of weapons in the hands of non-state actors.
We should consider the possibility of passing a law not only prohibiting but punishing whoever is in possession of such firearms.
It is pertinent that states domesticate the laws so that its application and benefits will be better experienced at the state levels as opposed to its current limitation to federal high courts and FCT.
But the wife of the Senate President's pet project brings her attention to the thousands of babies born in prisons and detention centers without any care.
We can and must, as a matter of essential accountability, investigate every death that occurs during childbirth formally and entrench a policy of culpability and sanction for every negligent preventable death.
These were some of the factors that made all speakers at the public presentation of the book acknowledge the contribution of Dr. Ali Ahmed, to whom the book was dedicated and who is now Speaker of the Kwara State House of Assembly, to the passage of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act when he was Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Justice.
You know, when we were there, we were only doing our duty. Now we have the platform. Then secondly, we will now be building the institutions.
And times again, we have said that there is a need for us to improve on the system.
In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Talking agriculture now, the federal government has evolved a pragmatic strategy for job and wealth creation in the nation's livestock industry. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbe, stated this at the National Conference on the Transformation of Nigerian Livestock Industry in Abuja. Correspondent Usman Aliyu now reports.
The unveiling of this milking machine with the capacity to accommodate 50 cows at a time demonstrates the new thinking of the current administration to re-energizing the livestock subsector. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, who stood in for Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo, maintained that the sector will be prioritized with emphasis on modern methods of livestock production.
We believe that this conference will provide a platform for you Nigerians, invited according to your expertise and your capacities to participate in this debate. It's a meeting which we hope will provide all the aspects that we have failed to look into in government, make suggestions to us which we will implement with speed.
Speakers at the conference observed that with the renewed determination by government, Nigeria is soon to become an exporter of agricultural livestock, boost its foreign exchange earnings, as well as create job opportunities for its people. In Abuja, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
Now, the non-teaching staff of universities have agreed to return with feedback from members on the 20th of this month after extensively deliberating over their 12-point demands, which were agreed upon by the federal government. Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige says the meeting agreed on most of the demands which have been causing crisis in the university sector. He said it was agreed that whistleblowers must be protected, universities operating multiple accounts to be investigated, while government is to release a circular to ensure compliance with the court judgment over staff, schools, and many more.
On the issue of bad governance and corruption in universities, the meeting jointly agreed that government should intensify her efforts to checkmate the excesses of corrupt officials in the universities. The Federal Ministry of Education is to ensure that the academics stick to their areas of teaching and research.
Government has made or promised that certain amounts are already being paid. We are looking forward to and market such monies before Wednesday for coming back here. Some of them may not be direct into the accounts of our members, but if they are paid into the account of the university, we know that the money is for us to receive.
Correspondent Emmanuel Ayimiro reports that the meeting is to reconvene by Wednesday next week. Now, talking sports now, Nigeria drops in latest FIFA ranking as Athletics Federation of Nigeria licensed athletes. Amanze Marcos reports.
Defending champions Nigeria's The Tigers on Thursday defeated Cameroon 106 to 91 points in the quarterfinals of the FIBA Afrobasket tournament in Tunisia.
Numamu to Diogo. Can he add something? You bet he can! You bet he can, Ike Diogo! And what a performance!
Meanwhile, Nigeria's home-based Super Eagles played goalies with the Eagles of Mali in a Group A encounter of the West Africa Football Union Cup of Nations decided at Cape Coast, Ghana. Nigeria is now 44th in the world